We can now bring in France 24's international affairs commentator Douglas Herbert. Donald Trump has gone down in the history books as the first U.S. president to be impeached not once but twice. What happens now?
Well, under the U.S. Constitution, impeachment is just the first of a two-stage process, and there is a Senate trial. Now, it's worth noting there's now been 4 American presidents impeached. Half of those, 2 of them, have been Donald Trump, and none has ever been convicted in the Senate trial, which proceeds from the impeachment vote in the House. It's the Senate that serves sort of as the court and the jury, and it's the House members, the attorneys, who will make the case to the senators in the Senate. Now, the timing is, they're still U.S. news networks, no one really has the answer to this. What we do know, if we want to know one known unknown, it's that there will not be a Senate trial before next Wednesday when Joe Biden takes the oath as the 46th president. There had been talk initially reconvening the senators, perhaps opening the trial on January 19th. It will start, though, most likely, shortly after, in the early days next week of Joe Biden's presidency, which obviously poses a problem and an immediate looming concern for Joe Biden. If you're Biden, who's been a president who has tried to keep his distance from this impeachment, removal of Trump debate, he has tried to maintain his focus squarely on the crises, the multiple crises facing the U.S., crises sort of a magnitude that the country hasn't seen in generations, whether we're talking the crumbling economy, whether we're talking the worsening coronavirus pandemic, over 4,000 Americans in the past couple of days dying per day. He knows those are going to be his front and center priorities. His real concern right now, no matter what happens with the Senate trial, is that all of those priorities, that agenda, that massive agenda for any incoming president, is not consumed essentially by the Senate business of a trial. They've talked about the so-called bifurcating, maybe the first half of the day having a trial, the second half of the day Senate doing Joe Biden's business, swearing in his nominees, his national security cabinet, his nominees, all of that, all very important. It's all yet to be hashed out. But what we do know is this trial will be a distraction to a greater or lesser degree early on in Joe Biden's presidency.
Indeed. Now let's talk about security in the United States, because we know that security has been ramped up not just in Washington but across state capitals. And Joe Biden has ditched plans to take the train to his inauguration.
Train,
to his inauguration because over fears over his security.
It is quite amazing. I mean, with this whole story, you just have to continually keep taking steps back
and remind yourself that you're in the United States.
To remind yourself, it is a surreal tableau. Joe Biden lives right near Washington in Wilmington, Delaware. He's used to taking the U.S. national train service, which is called Amtrak. He loves it. He takes it. He's not taking it to his own inauguration. It's quite remarkable. And we've seen by now, all of our viewers, most of them have seen those remarkable images of National Guardsmen bivouacked, literally, camping out in the marble corridors of the Capitol under the gaze of the statue of George Washington, the first president. Now, that is being replicated, those types of images across the nation. State houses, not just the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C., but state houses across the nation, they're becoming basically insurrectionist sites. It's looking more and more like a police state in more and more places. You can see the images here. We've already talked a lot in the past during recent protests in the U.S., the militarization, the soldierization of the U.S. police force, of the U.S. security forces in general. Yeah. That is more than ever the case. And right now, there are intelligence warnings from the Joint Intelligence community in the United States, from the Department of Homeland Security to the National Intelligence Estimate to the FBI themselves. They say that the people who went on a rampage, they're still very active. They're not going silently into the night. Neither is Donald Trump, for that matter, regardless of that video that you say. These people are out there more than ever. They see themselves as the victims. They see themselves now more than ever as being discriminated against. They see themselves as being unjustly banished from the social media platforms and having more and more scope, measures taking against them. They see themselves right now in the victims situation, and they are not going to go away. So does that mean all of them are planning things? There is a lot of chatter, as you say, on the deep web, on social media sites, alternative, alt-right, far-right media sites, that domestic extremists, you could even call them, some say terrorists, are out there planning. Does that mean there's inevitably going to be violence? No. But you can bet that in the coming days, Washington and capitals across the United States are going to be on high to maximal alert for a sort of repeat act, a repeat performance of what we saw on now what's becoming called 1/6, January 6th in the United States.
A dark day. Doug, thank you very much for that, Douglas Herbert there.